Welcome to Fuel Her Awesome, the nutrition pep talk to supercharge your week. I'm Jess, registered dietitian and empowered eating coach, here to help you take your health to that next level. In these bite-sized episodes, we cut right through the noise and blend science with biofeedback and values, all while teaching you how to trust your intricately and beautifully designed body. Because here's the deal, you are awesome, and life is an invitation to show up that way. But you can't do it without food. So let's lean in as we explore how to fuel your awesome with empowered eating. Welcome back to the Fuel Her Awesome show. I am so glad you are here today. We are diving into what to do or what to stop doing if you want your metabolism to work after age 40. So if you're in your pre-40 era, I want you to know this episode is really going to be a game changer for you because you can get ahead of it. Now, if you're in your 40s or beyond, I have even better news. It's not too late. There are things we can do to really set you up as you move towards menopause. I know that sounds weird to say. We are moving towards menopause, but it's better than the alternative because it means we're still here. And I know I want to age gracefully, and I'm guessing you do too. So here's the deal, my friend. If you have hit your 40s and suddenly you feel like your metabolism has slammed on the brakes, you're not imagining it. And you're not alone. This is actually one of the number one reasons women book to work with me is because they feel like they've been doing everything the same. They're not doing anything different, but something is different in their body. And this is real. You're not imagining it. The research actually shows that we have a major metabolic shift in our late 30s and then again in our late 50s. So women have two, men only have about one. Isn't that crazy? These men, they have it so easy. I mean, every month we go through this major hormone cycle and then we got to do it if we have babies and post babies and perimenopause. Men they just have one shift. Well, I don't want to get into like the battle of the genders because I think we each play an amazing role, but also women are tough. We're really tough. We just need to take a minute and acknowledge that. Okay, so here's the really good news, friend. By noticing something is changing, you're already ahead of the game. You're already doing an amazing job tuning into your biofeedback. Here's the even better news. Your metabolism doesn't break in those upper 30s, early 40s. It just needs a new kind of support. So today we're going to unpack what not to do if you want your metabolism to work with you, not against you. And I really love talking about this because very simple changes can be totally life-changing. I actually ran into a friend who came to see me a few months ago, and I hadn't talked to her since our appointment. So, I was like, hey, how's it going? This was so great to hear. She looked at me and said, Jess, adding carbs in before my workout was life-changing. She had been intermittent fasting as a early 40s female, thinking that it would help her burn more body fat. But after we met and we talked through everything, she realized that this was actually working against her metabolism. And so we added a little bit of pre-workout fuel, and she's now crushing her workouts and has more energy throughout the day, which you can imagine I was celebrating big. And this whole shift, it came from one session. So today, as we're going to be diving into some of these high-level nutrition nuggets, if you are like my friend and you have some biofeedback, waving a red flag, I just want to say, let's honor her. Let's honor your body and listen up. You will definitely get some takeaways from this episode today, but you would also be amazed what we can do in a whole hour dedicated to you. These empowered eating pep talks are 15 minutes where we do high-level empowered eating tools and tactics. But if we sit down and give you that full time and attention, it's just incredible what you can walk away with. So if you are interested in that, go ahead and check out in the show notes how to book with me. Okay, so before we dive into this topic, this was actually a question posed by one of the listeners today, and they wanted to remain anonymous, so I will honor that. But you listening now, if you have any questions, I want to hear it. I also have the link in the show notes where you can submit a question that I will answer here on the show in these empowered eating pep talks. Okay, without further ado, let's dive in to 3 things to stop doing if you want your metabolism to work after age 40. As always, we're going to start with a value compass. So let's ground in what really matters when we are talking about shifting your metabolism here, I want to be clear, I'm not talking about shrinking your body. I'm talking about sustaining your energy and vitality for the long haul. One of the major traps of the 2030s decades is this prioritization of being thin, especially for those of us that were raised in the 90s. We are just drawn to thinking smaller, less body fat. And not to say that's all bad. Like, I'm not here to say weight loss is bad or, you can't want to lose weight. That's not what I'm saying, but I am looking at grounding ourselves in something a bit deeper than that, so that weight loss or body composition changes, that's the byproduct, that's not the end result. And one of the major reasons I want to ground in this is because when we're solely focused on losing weight, that often comes with eating less, and that comes at the cost of your energy and your metabolism, which is what we're really working towards here, is actually getting a stronger base with nutrition. I think as women, we age and we start to shift focus away from being thin. Although the desire to be fit is still there, the focus really moves towards longevity just naturally. So if you're listening to this and you're in your 20s and 30s, I just want you to know, like, every decade gets better. Every decade you get older, you get more secure in who you are, and taking care of your body really starts to become this like adventure on care instead of working to control your body. Now, if you're in your 40s and you're going, I'm trying to get there, Jess, I just want you to know this episode is going to help you get there. I'm so glad you're here, because I think so often the previous like 20 years of wanting to be thin starts to like want to cloud us in our 40s. It wants to cloud our mindset. So right now we're going to all align this idea of metabolism with our values compass. We're going to release the tie of metabolism to thinness and reframe the word metabolism as how our body burns fuel. We're going to reclaim it as our secret connection to energy. Your metabolism, my friend, it's not just about burning calories. It's about your body's engine for life, and the way you fuel it after 40 needs to reflect where you are going, not just where you have been. So that's our value compass to realign us with where we're going today. All right, so that's our value compass. Next, we're going to shift to the biofeedback boss, and I don't really have to tell you much here, because the whole reason for this topic today is because our body's saying, hey, sister, things are different as we get older. What do we need to do? So we're already tuned in to our biofeedback, I think, when it comes to this topic. Where we're going to spend most of the time today is in our nerdy nutrition nuggets, because I really want to hit on 3 things that we need to stop doing to keep our metabolism working, not just working, but flourishing after age 40. And this is all going to be science-based. So let's break these down. Number 1, stop skipping meals. Like my friend who was working out in the fasted state, guys, as a female, when we skip meals, especially breakfast, it really dysregulates our hormones and can lead to a sluggish metabolism. I know intermittent fasting is trendy. I know there are many different programs out there and protocols, but guys, those are built on research on men, not women. Our metabolism is already very dynamic because of our hormone fluctuations. Your body thrives on rhythm and nourishment, and when we move into intermittent fasting, really kicks our body into that survival mode. And as a female, we are already, I think, more prone to be in that fight or flight state, or that like parasympathetically driven state, that survival mode, and intermittent fasting can only exacerbate that. Here's some of the science. Women have 2 neuropeptides in our brain called kisspeptin. These guys help us regulate metabolism. It's a really fun word to say, kisspeptin. Say it with me, kisspeptin. It's so cute. So I want you to imagine these 2 little neuropeptides in your brain. Men only have 1. Women have 2 because our systems need to regulate not just our metabolism, but our hormones too. So research shows that with just 3 days of intermittent fasting, it can downregulate one of those kisspeptins to impair luteinizing hormone pulses. So what does that mean? Your hormones take a hit and your metabolism slows down after just 3 days of intermittent fasting. So I am not here for that. I want to keep my metabolism up and running. So let's stop skipping meals and get into a rhythm of eating 3 meals and at least one snack, depending on your schedule and flow, moving to 1 to 3 snacks. Again, totally dependent on you. And this is where if we meet one-on-one, we will come up with a rhythm for you. We will come up with a framework on how you can meet your nutrition needs in a rhythm of nutrition throughout your day. But in general, most of us need 3 meals and at least one snack. Okay, number 2, stop under eating protein. You guys know I'm a protein queen. I love it when we hit our protein, but I still think this is one, even though the noise and the conversation is taking a ramp up on social media, most women I see that walk into my office, they're still not getting enough protein. So here's the deal. When you were younger, your body could activate muscle building just from any amount of protein. So you could have like a few nuts with a few grams of protein and boom, your body like triggered that whole muscle repair process. Now that we are in our upper 30s or 40s, we need a more robust signal, meaning a fuller serving of protein to turn on that same system. So we need about 20 to 30 plus grams per time we eat. So that's breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner to really keep that protein repair or protein building process going. And when I say protein repair, I just got to do a little disclaimer here. I am not talking about bodybuilding. I'm talking about retaining strength. I had a gal just this week that said, I'm not into like being a bodybuilder and all this protein pushing. And I was like, me either. But I am here to make sure you have adequate muscle strength to strengthen your bones so that when you are in your 60s and 70s, you don't have osteoporosis. So see how it's not just about body fat or body composition. Like, sure, those are some benefits that we get, but it's really about this long-term ability to have autonomy and health within our own body. And just a quick note, if you are a vegan or vegetarian, that's amazing. Getting protein is still possible. And actually, you guys get protein from higher fiber, more anti-inflammatory sources, which is great. However, you may need a bit more than my meat eater sisters out there. So just making sure you do check that 20 to 30 gram box. Actually, I would say get 30 grams at every meal and snack because the type of protein you guys are having, well, it's more anti-inflammatory. It just needs a bit more, again, to kickstart that protein repair process. Okay, so we're all going to be protein princesses together. You guys in it? And this is another thing that if you're like, okay, Jess, I get the 20 to 30 plus grams per meal, but how do I do that? This is where we, working together one-on-one, can come up with a menu for you. We can come up with go-to snacks. Like, there really is power in personalization here. So you come see me if you want to dive into that a little bit deeper. I would love to meet you. All right, number 3, stop chasing cardio-only workouts, my friend. Let me just tell you the story of a little girl who was afraid to start weightlifting. Hi, my name is Jess. When I was, I think I was early 30s, I had just had my firstborn son, and my husband started doing weightlifting and CrossFit, and I had been a runner all my life. I had done I was like slave to the cardio machines in my more disordered era. But then as I aged, I just started to get outside. And, honestly, I really enjoyed it. And there are times now I go outside with no watch, no wearable, just to get outside for my mental health, because I do think there's such power in moving our body underneath the sunshine. However, when it comes to caring for our body, and again, that longevity, there is so much power in learning how to lift weights. And I get it. It can be really intimidating. So going back to the story of this little girl who was afraid to lift weights. Hello again, my name is Jess. I remember walking in to my first CrossFit class, totally intimidated. All these girls walking around in their booty shorts and sports bras and their ripped abs. I'm going, oh my gosh, I can barely lift the dog food bag at Costco. I don't know what to do. I've never picked up a barbell in my entire life. I get it. It's really intimidating. But here's the thing. Nobody is looking at you thinking, oh my gosh, what is she doing here? She doesn't belong here. Like that's our own internal narrative. And if I'm being totally honest, it took me a while to get over that. It was hard for me to walk in and do it, but I was so glad I did, because here's what I found. As I learned how to move weight and lift heavy things, my body, not only did it change in a way that felt really good, my energy changed. And suddenly I left my workouts feeling more energized instead of drained. And there's some science behind that. Endless cardio sessions can overstress our system and actually enhance muscle breakdown, especially when we are underfueled, which so many of the women I know out there are, because we're like trapped in that I need to eat less 90s mindset. Strength training, on the other hand, it supports lean mass and actually helps boost your metabolism by increasing the mitochondria within your cells and within your muscle cells. So we literally give our body more tools to enhance our metabolism. The research shows that the muscle you build in your perimenopausal years plays a major role in the strength and function as we age. So this isn't really about just being fit or, liking the way we look in a swimsuit. Again, that's a great byproduct. This is about being capable for the long haul. So coming from someone who treated her body like the Energizer Bunny for years and years and years, like I would just get up and run and go for these long cardio sessions, I now train for longevity. And I have to tell you, I have never felt better. I feel stronger. I know my muscles are stronger. I know that means my bones are maintaining strength. And to me, that equals independence. And yes, more independence means we can carry not just the dog food bags in Costco, but we can carry our kids, we can carry our nieces, our nephews, our grandkids. We are going to really look at this in the big picture, and this is something that is so life-giving. I really think of weightlifting and letting go of cardio as a way to give years to your life and not suck life from your years. So, sister, we got to get you lifting some weights. Now, if you're not a CrossFitter, I totally get it. I think CrossFit is actually, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't totally CrossFit anymore. I mean, I go and I play, but I have really started to modify the workouts because it is really hard on my body. But the bottom line is like, you don't have to, I think many people think of weightlifting as like this extreme in CrossFit, when in reality, you could, go and do functional movements. You can do body weight exercises. You can do home gym workouts. Like, there are so many options that don't have to be quite as extreme as CrossFit, because I get it, CrossFit's a little extreme. But if you're that personality, roll with it. I'm that way, so that's why I do keep going. But I think bottom line, we've got to find ways to stimulate that muscle repair, because that's really going to complement what we talked about on Nerdy Nutrition Nugget number 2, which is increasing our protein intake. Okay, so let's do a little recap here. We've got stop skipping meals, stop under eating protein, and stop chasing cardio-only workouts. Guys, these 3 things are not only life-giving, metabolism supporting, but they're going to be things that make you feel better almost instantly. Yeah, if you did all 3 of those, I'm just like thinking, if you woke up tomorrow and you didn't skip any meals and you hit your protein and you did a weightlifting workout, you would end the day feeling different. I guarantee it. And not that we have to do that every day, but if we could do it a couple times a week, that's a huge step in taking care of our body in a new and different way that is going to set us up for lasting change into those perimenopausal years and as we age. Because I don't know about you, but I am not here I've seen way too many grandmas age and lose their independence and capacity way too early. Like, I want to be one of those grandmas in her 70s and 80s that can still walk around and go to her kids' soccer games and like be cheering on the sidelines. Not my kids. I guess that would be my grandkids. That's weird to think about. But I want to be on the sideline of my grandkids' soccer games, screaming my head off, coaching them, telling them what a great job they're doing, not frail with a walker moving that way. Health is something that it's a gift. And I think us stewarding it to the best of our capacity is is really powerful. And in order to do that, we really have to move away from this make our body smaller, lose weight, lose body fat mindset, and think bigger. And these 3 things are going to help you get there. Okay, my sister, your metabolism, it hasn't betrayed you. It just needs a different kind of support. You don't need a reboot or a cleanse. You need a new rhythm. And I'm hoping these 3 nerdy nutrition nuggets really help set you up to do just that. I hope you take at least one thing away from today's episode and start implementing it in your life. And again, if you're ready to dive in deeper, let's do it. Find out how to contact me in the show notes. You've got this, my friend. You're awesome is just getting started. I'll see you here next Monday. Until then, cheers and happy eating. That's a wrap on today's Empowered Eating Pep Talk. If this hits home, be sure to leave a review and share it on your social media, tagging me at JessBrownRD. And girl, if you're ready to take your nutrition and mindset to that next level, I would love to get to know you more. Head on over to JessBrownRD.com to explore things like the Well Fueled Academy, one-on-one coaching, and all the free resources I have to help you live, eat, and fuel your awesome. Until next time, sister, have an amazing day. Cheers and happy eating.